Okay, y'all, here we are, September the 1st. Whew, man, how did we get here so fast? It just seems like we started this year, and here we are already the first day of September. And I just want to give a shout out and a happy birthday to our pastor. Today is his birthday, so if you happen to see him out and about somewhere today, be sure and wish him a happy birthday. I want to thank the Yale football players. Last night we fed them. They were very cordial, very nice. We were told they were going to be here at 6, and they showed up at 5:30, so we weren't quite ready for them. But the boys sat down. They were very gracious and waited patiently, and those boys can eat. So if you're going to feed the football boys, you need to be prepared for them to eat a lot. But we had a good time with them, and I want to thank Chris Green. She came over, and she and I prepared the meal for them and served them, and she did the biggest part of it. She made the cookies, and she made mac and cheese. I just put the sliders together, which was the simplest part of it. But thank you so much to Chris Green. If you see her out and about, tell her thank you for all that she does for this church, because she does a lot. She does a lot of cooking for this church, and I'm so grateful for her and so thankful for her abilities to do that. I wish the boys lots of luck tonight. They play Coil. I hope that they have great success. And as you can tell, I'm a Purple Pirate this morning. First Purple Pirate Friday for my grandson Kanan. He plays in Bristow, and I'm not quite ready for it. Not quite ready for this to be his last year, but I'm so proud of the young man that he's becoming. So if you can, go out. I mean, you may not have anybody playing, but if those kids see you in church and then they see you at their ball game, they know why you're there. You're there to watch them. And that means so much to them, because some of those kids have absolutely nobody that comes and watches them play. So if you have that opportunity tonight to go watch a football player or somebody who plays in the band or whatever it may be, I hope that you will do that and encourage them and give them something to look forward to, and just let them see you there. It's the ministry of presence. We've talked about that often in our services, about being present. And those kids need that today. Like I told the boys last night, they are growing up in a much different era than what I grew up in or what their coaches grew up in. But they were made for such a time as this. God created them for such a time as this, and they can go out and they can conquer the day. So I hope and pray for them that they have a great, successful first ball game, and there are no injuries and it's safe. So today I really couldn't figure out what I wanted to talk about, because I have a lot of things going on in my head and a lot of things just rumbling around, but I couldn't get targeted just on one. So I started just opening my Bible, and I've told you guys that I have a lot of highlights. I have a lot of sticky notes. I have a lot of things. So I just started looking, but I ended up coming to something that I have one verse highlighted, but it's something that we don't really think about often. And it's faith. We don't think about our faith. Sometimes we just, once we get saved, we just have that faith that God's going to take care of us, but we don't really understand what it is. And so in Hebrews 11, and the title of this chapter, is Great Examples of Faith. What is faith? It is the confident assurance that what we hope for is going to happen. It is the evidence of things we cannot yet see. God gave his approval to people in days of old because of their faith. When we have faith in God, no matter the circumstance that we're in, no matter what's happening in our lives, no matter, we have faith that God is going to take care of us. He honors that. He is a respecter of our faith, not of people. He doesn't play favorites. But our faith moves God. When he knows that we trust him completely, no matter the storm, no matter anything, that moves him. In chapter 11, verse 3, By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, and that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. It is by faith that Abel brought a more acceptable offering to God than Cain did. It is by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven without dying. It was by faith that Noah built an ark to save his family from the flood. It was by faith that Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave home and go into another land that God would give him his inheritance. It was by faith that Sarah, together with Abraham, was able to have a child even though they were too old and Sarah was barren. All these faithful ones died without receiving all these faithful ones died without receiving what God had promised them, but they saw it from a distance and welcomed the promises of God. They agreed that they were no more than foreigners and nomads here on the earth. And it was by faith that Abraham offered Isaac as a sacrifice when God was testing him. It was by faith that Isaac blessed his two sons, Jacob and Esau. It was by faith that Jacob, when he was old and dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and bowed and worshipped it as he leaned on his staff. And it was by faith that Joseph, when he was about to die, confidently spoke of God's bringing the people of Israel out of Egypt. It was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months. It was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be treated as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. It was by faith that the people of Israel went right through the Red Sea. It was by faith that the people of Israel marched around Jericho 7 days and the walls came crashing down. It was by faith that Rahab, the prostitute, did not die with all the others in her city who refused to obey God, for she had given friendly welcome to the spies. It was by faith that all of these things happened. And if those things wouldn't have happened, trajectory in what would have happened later would have been changed. But by faith, they followed what God told them to do. By faith, they understood that if they followed God, that they would have a welcome, that they would have a home, that they would have what they have need of. How much more do I need to say? It would take too long to recount the stories of faith of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and all the prophets. By faith, these people overthrew kingdoms, ruled with justice, and received what God had promised them. They shut the mouths of lions, quenched the flames of fire, and escaped the death by the edge of the sword. Their weakness was turned into strength. They became strong in battle and put whole armies to flight. Women received their loved ones back from death. By faith. We have to understand that the things that we see of this world are very disheartening. And I have seen so many people talking about the end times and prophesying when that's going to happen. And that's a scary thought. Because when that prophecy doesn't come true, that makes them a false prophet. And that's a scary thought. I wouldn't want to be in that category. So by faith, I'm going to understand that, yes, Jesus is coming back. I don't know the day, I don't know the time, because neither does Jesus. He doesn't know the day, he doesn't know the hour. But by faith, I can know that even in this hard, even in this season of hard, even in this season of pestilence and earthquakes and all of this, even in that season of those things that are going to happen, where things are going to go from bad to worse, even in those seasons, the Lord is with me. And he's going to protect me, and he's going to guide me, and he's going to give me all that I have need of. If he can rain manna down from heaven once, he can rain manna down from heaven again, and I'm trusting in that. I am trusting, and I am having faith in him that he's going to protect me, and he's going to guide me, and he's going to grow me. There was a lot that I read, but then it says, but others trusted God and were tortured, preferring to die rather than turn from God and be free. They placed their hope in the resurrection to a better life. Some were mocked and their backs were cut open with whips. Others were chained in dungeons. Some died by stoning, and some were sawed in half. Others were killed with the sword. Some went about in the skins of sheep and goats, hungry and oppressed and mistreated. They were too good for this world. They wandered over deserts and mountains, hiding in caves and holes in the ground. All of these people we have mentioned, all of the people that we have mentioned, received God's approval because of their faith. Yet none of them received all that God had promised. For God had far better things in mind for us that would also benefit them, for they can't receive the prize at the end of the race until they finish the race. So even though there were some that were mocked and tortured because they would not turn from God, the prize that they received entering into heaven was by far better than anything on this earth. And when we talk about and believe about healing, and the person that we're praying for didn't get healed, they did get healed because they went to be with the Lord. And that above all else is better than anything we could ever hope for or see on this earth. So today, I pray that you will understand faith. Go and read all the way through Hebrews 11. Read about how God moved in those lives of the people who had faith in him. And even how he moved in the lives of those people that had faith in him and did not get to see his promise, because they received that promise when they finished their race. What an amazing thing that is, and what an amazing hope to have. And I'm so thankful for a Jesus who loves me enough that is going to give me all of my heart's desires. Maybe not on this side of heaven. It may be on the other side of heaven, but that's okay. Because that's what a reward that is. When we endure to the end and receive what he has for us, what a precious, precious gift that is. So today, have faith that Jesus is going to take care of your situation. It may not be the answer that you want. And so many times we get caught up in that. We get this plan, we put this plan together, and we are like, okay, God, here's my plan. This is what I'm going to do. You need to bless it. And he's saying, back it up, back it up, back it up. I didn't approve of any of that. I'm not going to bless that plan. You're going to see my answer, and you may not like it. But know that his answer is the best answer, and he has something even better for us. So instead of building a plan or going to God humbly or boldly and saying, God, I need you to fix this person. I need you to change this man. I need you to change this woman. I need you to change my child. I need you to go to him and say, Lord, what would you have me to do? How would you have me to handle this situation? How would you have me to handle this man, this woman, my child? Whatever it may be, ask God to show you, not for him to change that other person. Help him to ask him to change you and how to handle that situation. Don't beat somebody up and say, well, God told me, God told me, God told me, God told me. When that's not what God's telling you. You're hearing what you want, not what God's telling you. So be sure that you're being still and hearing from the Lord, not what you want and not how you want him to answer it. Be still and understand that he has a perfect plan, and you need to just allow him to grow that. So my prayer today is that you will just have faith and trust in him and trust in his plan. Even though you can't see it, you can't understand it, you don't know why you're having to go through all these difficulties, just trust him and trust his plan. Again, we're the first day of September. Labor Day weekend, the last hurrah of summer. I pray that if you go out and enjoy the lake or whatever it may be, that you be responsible, that you have a great time, put on sunscreen, you stay hydrated, you do all the things, and enjoy your day off on Monday. Not everybody will have that day off, but I hope that those that do enjoy it, enjoy time with family, whatever you may be doing this weekend, having your last big cookout, having your last go at the lake, whatever it may be, even though we're probably going to have summer for a few more weeks. Have a great weekend. Come and join us Sunday, 9 and 11. I know a lot of you stay home or are not able to be with us, and I'm so thankful that we have that avenue that we can go Facebook Live. But if you're just staying home because you don't want to get up and get around, it's so much better in person. It's so much better in person. When you feel the Holy Spirit moving, it's just totally amazing. So I hope you will join us at 9 and 11. Mike, barring any complications, will be in the pulpit. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Won't be on Monday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.